Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the special cases in transportation models. Unbalanced transportation problem. Number two, degeneracy in transportation problem. And number three, maximization time type transportation problem. We know that transportation problem is only for minimization type. That is, we want to minimize the transportation cost. But sometimes we need to maximize also. So such type of problems are there. So we'll see this type of problem and how to solve such problems. So first is unbalanced transportation problem. To apply the transportation models, it should be balanced problem. The total supply from the various plants must be equal to total demand at various warehouses. Means production capacity is equal to that unit storing capacity in the warehouse. But sometimes this plant capacity and warehouse capacity is different, and such problem is called as unbalanced problem. So the total supply and demand is not equal. Such problems are called as unbalanced problem. The unbalanced problem is changed to balanced problem by introducing dummy plant or warehouse. We know that we are representing plant by the rows and warehouse by the column to make the supply and demand equal. So if the supply and demand is not equal, in that case, we have to first make it equal and then we can solve the problem. So in that case, we are using matrix to represent this plant and warehouses. So in that case, we have to add either extra row or extra column with 0 unit cost in each and every cell for that additional row, so that there will not be any change in the final answer. The total cost of the transportation for dummy plant and warehouse to be considered 0, so that there will be no change in the final solution. So this is one example of unbalanced transportation problem. So given problem is, so here you see this problem is given here, and in this problem you can see there are 4 factories or plants are shown here. That is, plants are A, B, C, and D, and its capacity, plant A capacity is 10 units, whether it is per day capacity or it is per shift capacity. Then B is 8, C is 5, and D is 6. So here these 3 markets or warehouses are shown here. So here P is having 7 capacity, Q is having 12 capacity, R is having 4 capacity. So first step to solve the transportation problem is that we have to check whether it is balanced problem or not. How to check whether it is balanced or not? Make the total of all the supply. So it is 10 plus 8, 18, 18 plus 11, so 19, and 10, 29. So this 29 is the capacity for the supply. Now check for the demand. So in the demand, it is 7 plus 12, 19 plus 4, it is 23. So here the supply is 29 and demand is 23. So this supply and demand is not equal and it is called as unbalanced problem. Now, first step is that we have to balance it, and then you can apply the production techniques, that is transportation techniques. So here, how to balance it? So what is difference between these two? So difference, here it is 5. Here it is 5. So here difference is 4 units. So instead of 3, here it is 4. So difference is 5 units. So here we have to add this extra 5 units to balance the problem. But how to add this by 5 units? So to add these 5 units, we have to create one dummy this market or dummy warehouse, and here we have to assign this zero value for each and every cell. So what this represent? If I want to supply from plant A to warehouse S, it requires 0 rupees transportation cost for 1 unit. So it is not possible. So it is dummy only to balance the problem, and we have taken purposely these values are 0, because if this problem or this supply and or this plant and warehouse come in the final costing to calculate the total transportation cost, because of this 0 assignment, the transportation cost becomes 0 and it will not add any value in the total transportation cost. So here we have to add such extra column if we require, or if there is a less capacity for the market, or if it is warehouse. In some cases, it may require, instead of 24 here, you consider that if supply is less and demand is more, so we want to add supply. So in that case, we have to add one more extra row. After like this A, B, C, D, you can add one more extra row with E having all the 0 values in that row. So like this, we have to add either extra row or extra column, and we have to balance this transportation problem. Balance means when supply and demand is same, it is called as balance problem. So it may require to add any row or any column. So that is called as balancing the transportation problem. Once it is balanced, now this becomes regular problem. Now you can solve by using transportation model techniques. So same problem I have solved for the next that case. So this you will get the answer for this same problem for the next transportation case. So now we'll see the next transportation case. That's a special case in the transportation, that is degeneracy in transportation problem. So what is mean by degeneracy? A basic feasible solution for transportation problem must consist of m plus n minus 1 allocations. Allocations means group of units. So when you are shifting the units, these units must be shifted in some groups, and that group is called as allocation. So this allocation must be equal to m plus n minus 1, where m equal to number of rows, n equal to number of columns minus 1. If it is 3 by 3 matrix, 3 plus 3 minus 1. So here allocations must be 5 like this. If allocations are less than 5, in that case, the problem is called as degenerate, and we cannot go for next step without making or without removing that degeneracy in that problem. So we cannot improve such solution if it is having degenerate solution. In such cases, it is not possible to evaluate the values of U and V in case of UV method, or you cannot proceed further, or you cannot make a closed loop in stepping stone method, or this problem are stuck there and you cannot continue by using the regular procedure. To remove the degeneracy and improve the solution, a small quantity close to 0 is added as an additional occupied cell to one or more unoccupied cell. So here in an unoccupied cell, one or more unoccupied cell, we have to add some extra or additional units, and those additional units are called as, or additional units are, they can remove the degeneracy in the problem. And how to add these additional units, which are like dummy. So here, for minimum type of type of problems, a very small value. We are creating very small value. That small value is denoted by epsilon to add cell with lowest unit, or where to add, we have to add this value where it is having the lowest unit transportation cost, because in the matrix we are getting transportation cost. So in the lowest unit transportation cost, we have to add this epsilon symbol, and we'll see how to add this epsilon. Or this is the lowest possible cost. So here rules for introducing epsilon. So epsilon should be added to least unit transportation cost for minimization type of problem. So epsilon is added in the unallocated cell values. We have to check unallocated cell values, and wherever the unit transportation cost is less, there we have to add epsilon. Epsilon should be added to highest unit transportation cost if it is maximization type problem. But mostly transportation is the minimization type. The epsilon remains in the distribution matrix until degeneracy is removed or the final solution occurs. So, or whichever is the first. Again, one more point, fourth point also, you keep in mind that epsilon is added such that for the remaining unallocated cell, it will help to make a closed loop or stepping stone method. Because our difficulty is that we cannot make a closed loop if the number of allocations are less than m plus n minus 1. And because of that, we cannot solve the problem. But when number of that, or you can see, if the same number is there for the least allocation cost, so least transportation cost, unit transportation cost, in that case you have to check that which cost or which cell where you are adding the epsilon, which will help to make the closed loop or remaining unallocated cells. So now we'll see one problem, and we'll see how to add this epsilon in the transportation problem if it is stuck in between. Solve the transportation problem to minimize the transportation cost. Following table shows the cost in rupees per destination. So here there are two plants, X and Y, and there are three warehouses, A, B, and C. And here these figures are showing the unit cost, transportation cost. That is, X to A, it required 2 rupees. X to B, it required 1 rupees. X to C, it required 2 rupees. Y to A, it required 3 rupees. Here it required 4 rupees, and here it required 1 rupee. So the capacity of plant X is 20 units. Capacity of Y is 40 units. Warehouse up, that is accommodation capacity, warehouse A is 20, warehouse B is 15, warehouse C is 25. Now first step is that check whether the supply and demand is equal or not, or to check whether the problem is balanced or not. So here for X it is 20 plus 40, so it is 60. Now check the demand, 20 plus 15, 35 plus 25, 60. So here supply as well as demand is equal to 60. So this is called as balance problem. So in such problem, you can apply the production techniques like transportation model, and you can get the minimum transportation cost. So here next step is that you have to use either any one initial feasible solution method. So purposely I am using here northwest corner method to get some iterations. So here stage 1, use northwest corner method to get initial feasible solution. So northwest corner, we know that this is north side in 2-dimensional, this is south, this is east, and this is west. This is west. So we have to find out the northwest corner of this two-dimensional figure. So this northwest corner is this cell, or it is XA, XA. So now we got cell XA and check whether supply and demand is how much, and find out the minimum of supply and demand and allocate that value in that XA cell. So here we got that supply is 20 and demand is also 20. So allocate 20 units here. So when you are using, or when you are allocating these 20 units, the plant X capacity is over. The plant X capacity is over. Don't consider this plant X for next iteration. Then again, plant, that is warehouse A capacity, is also over because this 20 units allocation capacity is there. Already 20 units are shifted here. So no need to consider this warehouse A for next iteration. Now, from the available cells or available matrix, only 2 cells are available for next iteration. This is iteration number 1 is over. Now go for iteration number 2 and find out which is northwest corner. So I got this is northwest corner for available 4 and 1, or this is YB and YC cell. So northwest corner is here YB. So at YB, check how much supply is available, 40. How much here demand is available, 15. Take minimum of these two, and I have taken this 15. So here remaining units are 25 for next iteration. So by allocating 15 here, this warehouse B capacity is also over, and only one cell is balanced. And here the supply is 25, demand is 25, put here 25. So all the allocations are over. Now check feasibility of the problem. And to check feasibility of the solution, we have to check M plus N minus 1 allocations are there or not. This shifting group of units, that is 20, 15 and 25, is called as allocations. So here it is M equal to 2, number of rows are 2, N equal to 3, number of columns are 3, and minus 1. So 5 minus 1, so there should be 4 allocations, but we have finished the problem with 3 allocations only. So this is not a feasible problem. Now, if we want to use the production techniques, so here we have to make it feasible by addition of epsilon in the solution. So how to add epsilon here? Now check how to add epsilon here. Now we got this solution, that is we got 20, 15 and 25, these 3 allocations. Now check the unallocated cells. So here XB with 1 unit cost, XC with 2 unit cost, YA with 3 unit cost. These are the unallocated cells. Check these values, cost figures, and I got this 1 is the minimum cost as compared to 2 and 3. Now we want to allocate epsilon here to satisfy the feasibility condition, and for this epsilon we are considering that this is also one more allocation, and I have to check that if I am adding epsilon here, whether it is helping to remaining unallocated cells to make the closed loop. So here if I am adding epsilon here, by using this epsilon, you see it can become a closed loop like this. It can become closed loop for cell YC. Now check for YA. For YA also it is making closed loop here by using this epsilon. And to make the closed loop, it required at least 4 cells or 6 cells or 8 cells like that. So even cells required to make a closed loop, because for making closed loop we are using only horizontal and vertical lines, so that we are getting total, that is equal positive and negative corners. So here we got this, or we can draw the proper closed loop by addition of this epsilon. Means position of epsilon is yes. Otherwise, if here it is not giving the proper closed loop for remaining unallocated cells, in that case, go for the next cost. So consider that if it is not possible here, go for the next upper cost, that is at 2, and check whether it is giving, that is a closed loop for the remaining unallocated cells or not. Now it is satisfying the condition. Now solve the problem. Or here, if we want to check the cost of transportation, so total transportation cost we got 125. That is 20 units into 2 rupees per unit. 20 into 2 plus 15 into 4 plus 25 into 1. So we got, this is 125 is the transportation cost. Don't consider this epsilon. Epsilon is like 0. So if you multiply 0 with 1, it is giving 0 value, because we don't want to add any additional cost which is not there in the solution. Otherwise, you will get wrong solution. Now we want to make a closed loop for this unallocated cells. So consider this is first unallocated cell. Now this becomes a regular problem. So like previous problem, we have already solved such problem. So it is now regular problem, and you solve this problem by the regular way. So we are using here stepping stone method for stage 2 to get the optimum solution. So for XC, we want to make a closed loop, and here for making closed loop, rules are that you can start from the unallocated cell, mark their plus sign, and you draw either vertical lines or horizontal lines, and you can change the direction only from the allocated cells and come to original stage or original cell, and it is called as closed loop. So here we can plot a closed loop like this. So for making closed loop, we require at least 4 cells, so that we are getting alternate plus and minus sign. So here we are getting alternate plus and minus sign by making closed loop. And consider these cost along with this sign and check the net cost. So here I got, that is XC, YC, then YB and XB. So here start with plus minus. So use same sign for this cost values also. Plus 2 minus 1 plus 4 minus 1. So it is 6 minus 2. So I got here first value is plus 4. Means it gives indication that if I am shifting some units here, I cannot improve the solution. Improve the solution means here I cannot reduce the transportation cost. Now check for the next one. So here for the next one, so here at YA, see at YA, here I want to make a closed loop. Again, here start with this YA, XA, XB and YB. So I can make here closed loop by using these 4 cells. I can make closed loop by using these 4 cells. Mark here plus and minus. So here it is plus minus, here it is plus, and here it is minus. Now use same symbols to calculate the cost also. So here plus minus, this is plus and this is minus. So here first is, here first value you are getting plus 3. So this is plus 3 minus 2 plus 1 and minus 4. So here it is 3 plus 1 plus 4 and minus 6. So here the value you are getting minus 2. Here the minus 2 indicates that if I shift some units at this YA, at this cell, if I am shifting some units, so it will reduce the transportation cost, or I can get the improved solution. So how much cost is to be shifted? Check the values at negative corner. So at negative corner, you can see here at negative corner, the values are, here it is minus 15, here it is minus 20. So take minimum of these two. So minus 15 is the minimum. 15 is the minimum value as compared to 20. So add 15 wherever there is a plus sign and subtract 15 wherever there is a minus sign, because we want to eliminate this 15 one allocation and we want to reallocate this allocation to location YA. So here, if I am shifting this unit, you check the allocations becomes like this. So these are the original cell and now the allocations are shifted. This 15 is shifted from this YB to YA. So in the another figure, you can see 15 is shifted here. So here it is 15. From this 20, subtract 15, it becomes 5. So in the epsilon, add 15. So consider epsilon is less than 0. So or it is equal to 0. So 0 plus 15, I got 15 here. And here 15 is eliminated. And now I got actually 4 allocations by addition of epsilon. So we have added epsilon to continue the procedure of this transportation model or optimization techniques, and I got the solution with 4 allocations, and now it is satisfying the condition of feasibility. So that is, here the allocations are 4. So it is having the m plus n minus 1 equal to 4, and I got 4 allocations. Now calculate the transportation cost for this new allocations, and I got transportation cost is 95. You see the previous solution for iteration 1, the transportation cost was 125. When we shifted this unit 15 units to YA, the transportation cost become 95. This solution is improving and we are on the right track to reduce the total transportation cost. Now, for this new solution, also check whether it is the final solution or again there is a scope for improvement. And here for YC, if we check for YC, this is YC. So again, we have to make a closed loop for stepping stone method, and for XC, here for XC, I have to make a closed loop like this. I have to use horizontal and vertical line and only change the direction from allocated cells. Means I started from this XC, use that vertical line, change direction from allocated cell, draw vertical horizontal line. So change direction because there is no scope beyond this. So change direction from this allocated cell, go up in vertical direction, change direction and come to its original position. Now mark here it is plus, here it is minus, here it is plus, and here it is minus. And take the total of this amount, that is 2 minus 1 plus 3 minus 2. And this is 2 plus 3, 5 minus 3. So total is plus 2. Now at YB, at this YB, now check YB, again these 4 cells you can use for making closed loop. So at YB, you can use, that is YB minus YA plus XA and minus XB, and use this cost for making the net cost change. So here plus 4 minus 3 plus 2 minus 1. So it is plus 4 plus 2, 6, and minus it is 4. 6 minus 4, again plus 2. So both the values here we got positive, and if we are getting the values in net cost either positive or zero, we don't want any negative value only. So here we got both the values positive, means this is the final answer and this is the solution of this problem. So here we can write or we can prepare the result table by using, that is, how many units are shifted from plants to warehouse. From X to A, 5 units are shifted. Cost of per unit is 2. Total cost is 10. And like this, we have calculated from XB, it is 15. YA, 15 into 3, 45. YC, it is 25 into 1, 25. And total cost we got 95. So this is the answer, and this is, you have to prepare result table like this. So it is giving meaningful information about the transportation cost. Otherwise, if you are not writing this table and if you are leaving this problem in between like this, so this is incomplete problem and readers will not get any information from this table. So you have to like this, you have to prepare the result table so that it is very clearly giving information that from which plant to which warehouse, how many units are shifted, what is the transportation cost for each unit, and what is the total transportation cost for each plant as well as for the total solution. So this is another special case. Now we see the third special case of transportation problem, that is of maximization type. We know that transportation problem is minimization problem because we want to reduce the transportation cost as an objective function to minimize the total cost of transportation. When it is to maximize the objective function, there are two methods to solve such problems. And here, first method, the given matrix is to multiply by -1. That is for each cost figure or each unit cost in the matrix, multiply by -1. That is, change its symbol so that problem becomes of maximization type. Subtract all the elements in the matrix. Another method is subtract all the elements in the matrix from highest element in the matrix. So meaning of this sentence is that find out which is the biggest value in that matrix, and from that biggest value, for each and every cell value or respective cell, you subtract the value of respective cell from the highest value. And like this, you prepare the table, and when you are either multiplying by -1 to each and every cell value, or when you are subtracting the each and every cell value from the highest element or highest value in that matrix, you are converting the maximization type problem into minimization type. And once it becomes minimization type problem, you can solve this problem easily by using transportation model method. The problem once become the maximization, that is, this problem becomes maximization type, or you are converting from maximization to minimization type, and you can solve the problem. But at last, you have to, because you are converting the actual matrix by multiplying -1 or subtracting each and every cell value from the highest value, but it is giving the solution for the minimization type. So last, that is result table, you have to consider the original matrix and you have to check the values for maximization type. So there is one there is one step is there, that is how to compute for the maximization type. I will explain in the solution, or I will explain in the when we are solving this problem. So now we are going to solve the maximization case of transportation problem. So here we solve one numerical based on this. 4 factories, name of the factories are A, B, C and D, produce sugar, and the capacity of each factory is given as factory A produces 10 tons of the sugar, factory B produces 8 tons of the sugar, factory C produces 5 tons of sugar, and factory D produces 6 tons of the sugar per shift. You consider the sugar has demand in 3 markets X, Y and Z. The demand of market X is 7 ton, demand of Y is 12 ton, and demand of Z is 4 ton. The following matrix gives the returns of the factory can get by selling the sugar in each market. Formulate the transportation problem and solve to maximize the return. That is, we want to maximize the profit margin by using transportation problem. So this is the given problem. Here you see there are 4 factories A, B, C and D. Capacity of each factory is given in terms of tons. So capacity of A is 10 tons, capacity of B is 8 tons, C is 5 tons, D is 6 tons. So like this, demand from the market, you can see there is a demand from market P, or these are, you consider these are the cities. So P city, here it required 7 tons sugar, Q required 12 tons sugar, and R required 4 tons sugars. Now take the count for all the supply. So here it is 5. Already we have seen this. So here the supply is 29 tons and demand is 23 tons, 24 tons. Demand is 24 tons. So here there is gap of 5 tons between supply and demand. So this is unbalanced problem. So first step is that we have to balance this problem, and to balance this problem, what is lagging? So here for the market or for the demand, 5 ton is less as compared to supply. Supply is 29 ton and demand is 24 ton. So there is a difference of 5 tons in the market, or there is a demand of 5 tons for all these market demands. So we have to add one more column which is having 5 ton extra demand.
Sir, difference will be 6 tons, na sir?
Hello.
23, 29
Hello.
minus 23. It would be 6 tons, na sir?
No, I have changed this figure. This is 5. 7 plus 12, 19 plus 5, 24. 29 minus 24, 5. This is not 4, this is 5. Correct? Now the difference is 5 tons. So here we have to balance it by addition of extra 5 tons in that demand, so that if we now count these figures, it is 7 plus 12, it is 19 plus 10, 29. And here in the supply, 10 plus 8, 18 plus 11, 18 plus 11, 29. So here we have balanced this problem, and now supply, this is demand. So supply is 29 and demand is also 29. So this is balanced problem. Now we can solve this problem, or first we have satisfied the condition. This is first condition, that is if it is unbalanced, make it balanced. But once this becomes now the balance problem. Still it is maximization type. Now we want to convert this maximization type problem into minimization type. Here also it is considered 24. So now we want to convert this given problem from maximization to minimization so that we can use the production techniques. See, this is the original problem. Now we are changing from this maximization type to minimization type. Now check in this solution which is the highest cost. So these are the cost figure 4, 3, 2, 5, 6, 1. So if we check all these cost, highest cost is 6. Now for each cell value, subtract it from 6. For use, consider this step. This is very important step to convert from maximization to minimization. In this cell, we have checked all the values and find out highest value. So I got highest value 6. So for highest value 6, now for each and every cell value, subtract respective or individual value from this highest value. So here, instead that it becomes, this is 6 minus 4 means 2, 6 minus 3, it becomes 3, 6 minus 2, it becomes 4, 6 minus, or in we have you added one more, that is column. So and we have considered all these figures 6. So 6 minus 0, it becomes 6. Then here 6 minus 5 is 1, 6 minus 6 is 0. Like this we have changed all the values. And here we have changed the problem for, this is the max type, this is maximization type problem, and this is minimization type problem. Right? So we have changed the problem from maximization to minimization type. How we have changed? We have checked which is the maximum value in the given matrix. 6 is the maximum value. Subtract individual cell value from 6, and now we got, this is the now or revised matrix which is converted from maximization type into minimization type. And now this is the regular problem. You apply regular methods, that is use any initial feasible solution method to find out the initial feasible solution, and use any optimization method to find out optimal answer. So in the next, you can see here for this regular problem, now we have to use, or I have used here least cost method, because I want to minimize the iterations. So purposely I use here least cost method. So in the least cost method, I am getting minimum iterations and I can save the time. So here in the least cost method tells that find out the minimum value, cost value in the matrix. So check all the values. I have 1 0 here, one more 0 here. So these are the minimum values. So consider any one 0, and I have considered this 0. I have considered this 0. Right? Or these are the various cells. So I have considered this 0. So at this 0, check supply and demand. Whichever is minimum, allocate there. I have checked supply is 8, demand is 12. So I have considered this 8 and allocated 8. Total value of 8 I have allocated here. And it becomes 0 now for next iteration. Or here it gives indication that the plant B capacity is over. Don't consider this plant B for next iteration. And for the, then this again in the demand, instead of 12, now 8 is reduced, and for it next iteration it becomes 4. Now don't consider this B row and again check which is the minimum value, because in the least cost method we have to allocate the cells or we have to allocate the value at lowest value, lowest cost value. So another, we have one more zero. Come to this zero and check supply and demand. Supply is 5, demand is 7. Consider minimum of these two. So 5 is minimum, allocate 5 here as it is. Once 5 is allocated for remaining iteration, you can see that 12 is balanced. Now this 7 is over. So for next iteration, 12 is the 2 is remaining instead of 7. And for plant C, the capacity, total capacity of plant C, production capacity is 5 units. All 5 units are allocated here. Don't consider this plant for next iteration. Now you have only row A with all 4 cells, row D or plant D with all 4 cells. Now check in this 8 cell, which is the minimum value. And I got 1 is the minimum value. So for 1, check the supply and demand. And here supply is 6 and revised demand is 4. So allocate 4 because this is minimum value and here it becomes 0. So allocate 4 here. And instead of 6 for next iteration, you have the 2 units balance. And you have this 8 plus 12 means complete this demand of this warehouse or market Q is over. Don't consider this Q for next iteration. Now the remaining cell are in the row 1, 1, 2, 3 and row 4 you have 1, 2 and 3. 6 cells are there. Check which is the minimum value. So here I got 2 is the minimum value. Again here I got 3, 2 and 6. And there is a tie between 2. So here there is 2 as well as here also there is 2. So you consider any one, you will get same answer. So here I have considered these 2 and I have allocated 2 cells or 2 units here because 2 units are balanced from this warehouse P or market P and warehouse P capacity is over. There, that is AR, AS, then DR and DS. Now check for this D capacity is also over. You can see this D capacity 2 plus 4 already it is over. This already 6 is over, it becomes 0. So don't consider this. So now only 2 cells are balanced, that is AR and AS. So for AR, come to AR because here the cost is less, 4 and 6. So 4 is the less cost. Consider less cost at 4. Come here and check. Here it is 10, but the demand is 5. So consider whichever is minimum. Consider whichever is minimum. And here out of this 10, already 2 is used. So instead of 10, now 8 is available. So instead of 8 and 5, 5 is minimum. So allocate 5 as it is. So this R capacity is also over and this 5 becomes 0. This 5 becomes 0. And from this cell, you see for this market, yes, already 2 units are allocated already. So 3 units are balanced. So here already 3 units are balanced. Here also 3 units are balanced. Allocate 3 units because only 1 cell is there. Now we want to check feasibility. Here M equal to number of rows are 4, number of columns are 4 minus 1. So it is equal to 7. So check allocations. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and one more allocation 7. So here we have 7 allocation, means this is feasible solution. But we have to check whether this is optimal solution or not by using either stepping stone method or by using modified distribution method. So here, if we want to find out the transportation cost, because we got these allocations and these costs are for the unit cost. So by considering this allocation, calculate the total transportation cost. And here I got transportation cost 2 into 2 plus 5 into 4 plus 3 into 6 plus 8 into 0 plus 5 into 0 plus 4 into 1 plus 2 into 6. Like this I got for minimization, because this solution, this procedure we are using for the minimization type. That's why it is giving the solution initially for minimization type. So this is transportation cost I got for initial feasible solution. Now I have to check this solution for optimal, whether it is optimal solution or not, for optimum condition. And for optimum condition, I have to use here, I have to use either stepping stone method, or I have to use here UV or modified distribution method. So I have used here stepping stone method. That is, in the stepping stone method, for the unallocated cell, I have to make a closed loop. And see here, this is 4 by 4 matrix, means here we have 16 cells, and out of 16, 7 cells are allocated, some units. So I have 9 another cell which are unallocated cells. So when this matrix size become bigger one, in that case, it increases the calculations. So here I have to use for this 9 unallocated cell, I have to use, or I have to mark the closed path for each and every cell. And for each and every cell, I have to find the net cost. So here I got this net cost for AQ, I got +2. For this AQ here, I got +2. BP here for this cell, I got 0. For BR here, I got +2. For BS here, I got +1. For CQ, I got +3. For CR, it is 1 +1. Then for CS, it is +2. Then DP, I got +1. So for all these 8 values, or all these 8 respective cell, I got plus sign or plus values, but only for DR. Here I got negative value. I got here negative or -2. So here it gives indication that if I am shifting some units here, it can improve the solution, or it can reduce the total transportation cost. So I have to continue this iteration till I get either all positive value in this last column, that is net cost change, or here either 0. So if there is a negative value, it gives indication that you have to go for the next iteration to get the optimum value. So here I change this solution, and I have shifted some units at AR from this, at this DS, DR from this DS, and 2 units shifted here, and accordingly all the changes made in this matrix. So this was the previous matrix, and after shifting of units, you can see these 2 units are shifted from here, that is from DS to DR. These 2 units are shifted here, and after shifting this unit, I have to again check whether this is the final solution or not, and I have made changes accordingly in this solution. So here I got, instead of 58, now the transportation cost is reduced to 54. 4 rupees transportation cost is reduced by this change, and feasibility again 7 cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 allocations are there. Means for feasibility check also this is feasible solution. Now I have to check whether this is final solution or not. And for the same solution, again I have found out all the net cost values for this one more change. I have shifted unit from this cell, that is from DS to DR, and because of this shifting, whether I have to check whether I am getting all the values either positive or 0. And here I got the all values are either positive or 0, and here it gives indication that this is the final solution and I have to stop. And already I have calculated the value for this solution. And this is the result table. So now in the result table, what is changed here, or how this problem can be converted into again in the maximization type, so that I will get the total cost should be for maximization type and not for the minimization type. So for minimization type we have calculated here, and I got 54 is the minimum cost. But I want to calculate how much will be the maximum cost. How much will be the maximum cost? And in that case, I have to consider these allocations. I have to consider these allocations, but here I have to consider the original matrix. So here, this is the original matrix. This is the original matrix. In the cell AP, in the original matrix, the figure was 4. In AQ, the figure was 3. In AR, the figure was 2, or these are the cost figure. And this I have purposely added this that S column was not there. I have added to balance it. So I have to consider it with 0 values. And now after using this original matrix, but allocation, whatever the allocation in that respective cell, you have to consider that allocations. And when you are calculating the value, it should be 2 into 4, so that the here transportation cost is 4 instead of 2 into 2. So here we are getting minimized answer, and here we are getting maximized answer. And by considering these value, instead of 54, I got the answer 120. I got the answer 120. Like this, you can solve the problem for maximization type if it is there, or this is the special case. So with this numerical, we stop here. We stop here, and you see we have considered all the possible special cases in the transportation unit. Just a minute.